the aircraft until a customs officer stops her and tells her to stop worrying about the past and take care of herself. Joanna becomes even more agitated when she finds out that everyone is taking advantage of her once she gets to her parents' house. Marn is informed by Gail that Joanna will be sharing her childhood room. Later, she sees Will and her father, Mark, who let her know that Joanna has come downstairs. Just as Marn is going to have a private dinner conversation with Joanna about the past, Joanna appears as if she has never seen Marn before. Marn notices that Joanna, who has transformed into a housewife-like lady, is loved by everybody when she takes over the discussion. To everyone's excitement, Marn announces that she was promoted at work and inquires as to what Joanna has been doing since high school. After her parents passed away, Joanna recounts her heartwarming tale of how she changed her course in life and enrolled in nursing school in order to assist the less fortunate. Marn goes outdoors for a break after Jo tells her tale and ends up winning everyone over once again. Gail runs into Marn, who is upset that Joanna doesn't remember her. She begs Gail to forget about the pee and give her brother's girlfriend another opportunity, adding that Marn had a rough time in high school as well. Then, as soon as the doorbell rings, Gail rushes to see Aunt Ramona, a successful businesswoman who will cover the cost of the wedding. Ramona was a buddy from high school who had taken Gail's crash, so when Gail sees her, she is surprised. Gail receives a cordial greeting from Ramona, who presents herself as an old friend. Ramona catches everyone's attention with her lavish present to Marn, who respects her for making the Forbes list and for her extensive record of successful financial endeavors. Ramona offers to let Gail and Mark stay at one of her resorts, but Mark says no. Gail becomes envious of all the attention surrounding Ramona. Gail and Joanna were the center of attention as the evening progressed, since they had a link from their cheerleading days and even showed off some of their skills to everyone. Feeling uneasy with the situation, Man goes to the kitchen to clean up before telling her brother that she would forgive Joanna if she apologizes after Ramona departs. Joanna responds that she has hazy memories of high school when Monty shows her the family photo from her time there and asks if she recalls her. When Will shows there, their chat is interrupted, and Marn finds up spending the night in the treehouse, which is now Ben's younger brother's instead. When Marn awakens the next morning, her childhood photos are being enjoyed by the whole family. Following a period of laughter, Gail reminds everyone about the dance practice and requests that Will pick up Grandma Bunny. Meanwhile, Marn's grandmother, who also has feelings for Joanna, drives past their former high school, bringing back unpleasant memories for Marn. He keeps trying to get Joanna to apologize by bringing up regrets and the prospect of going back to school, but Joanna refuses to acknowledge anything from the past and keeps playing the idealized version of herself. Joanna responds angrily to Marn's mocking by being subtly referred to as the cheerleader who dated the high school principal and had another boyfriend. Joanna chooses to dismiss everything as gossip and responds to Marn's taunting by starting a song that she used to torture Marn. Marn's belief that Joanna remembered harassing her throughout high school was validated by this behavior. They later run across Tim, who is heartbroken to learn that his ex-girlfriend is getting married as they are about to enter the dancing class. Joanna rushes everyone to the dancing lesson while Tim flees, giving Marn the perfect chance to humiliate Joanna Moe. Every member of the family, including Ramona, shows up for the dancing lesson and forms pairs. Joanna kept dancing with her partner despite her horror at learning that Tim was the establishment's owner. As Marn was ready to do it alone, she met Charlie, Will's buddy, the one person who had shown her kindness throughout high school, and they became partners. The dancing practice devolved into a contest between Ramona and Joanna, Marn and Gail. The performance was a complete failure. To attempt a particular move with Mark, Gail sprang onto a trampoline thinking he would catch her. Instead, she fell on him, tripping Marini. Back at the Olsen residence, Monty informed Ben that Joanna would be indoctrinated and would not apologize. Ben believes his sister is exaggerating, but as she informs him about Will's plan to seize the treehouse, he offers to assist her. Together, they decide to separate Will and have a conversation with him. After the rehearsal incident, Gail decides to pay Ramona a visit at her opulent hotel, feeling dejected. After locating Ramona, Gail tells her that she wants to move on from their past and find closure. Gail's vision of closure is partially met by Ramona, even if they seem to reconcile. Charlie goes with Marn as she attempts to spend some alone time with her brother by going for a run, but her plan doesn't work out, and she ends up slipping into an ant bed after taking a shortcut to catch up with Will and Charlie. Gail lends Marn the glasses she had in high school since the contacts broke when she fell while wearing them. With all that has been going on, after becoming irritated, Marn begins to gripe to Gail about Joanna for providing her with a ride to the wedding shower. Ramona unexpectedly turns up with her convertible, just as Marn's mother is ready to give her some advice about moving on from the past. Ramona's engine noises, challenging Gail to race, set off a chain reaction in Gail. At the wedding shower, Gail accepted the bait, and Ramona got the final laugh, seeing as Gail jumped a red light and was chased by traffic cops. Marn's face is marred by ant bites, so Joanna makes her feel inferior by gifting her a necklace that features the derogatory term that she used to taunt her. Trying to put a stop to her dispute with Joe, Marn becomes agitated, but Grandma Bunny comforts her by saying that bad circumstances made her strong. In a private conversation, Marn offers her one more opportunity to make amends, but Joanna dismisses her words, saying she won't trust whatever she says the next day. With Ben's assistance, Marn uncovers the high school time capsule, which holds the most sinister secrets ever discovered throughout high school. After pulling out a humiliating film, Marn waits for her turn at the rehearsal dinner. When Gail arrives wearing a stunning outfit, there's an odd moment when Ramona appears next to her. Tim receives an invitation from Marn to the rehearsal dinner. When Joanna finds out, she pretends to be sorry, attempts to make Tim leave, but decides to step in and let Tim remain. Tim, who has had a few beers, pushes Charlie away as he tries to flirt with Marn. Joanna is sitting by herself after feeling ashamed of Tim, and Ramona goes to sit with her. Acknowledging her enormous blunder, Joanna is at a loss for what to do, so Ramona comforts her. Joanna and her high school cheerleading buddies were introduced by Georgia King, an upscale event coordinator that Ramona had hired. Joanna performs a rap song after Mark gives a heartfelt best man speech, and they wow everyone with their dance. When an emotional Tim takes the stage, Joanna becomes quite uncomfortable as he recounts about how she left him at the altar. Joanna attempts to console Will after feeling ashamed, telling him that she was only a young girl and had developed cold feet, but he is upset with her for keeping it a secret. The video for Time Capsule was then played. Joanna is shown tormenting Marn and other pupils, even during the crucial basketball match. The visitors are all in disbelief, and Will turns off the video and walks out for some fresh air, unhappy and bewildered. After learning that Marn is the owner of the video, Mark and Gail are upset with her. Approaching Joanna, Marn approaches her. Marie attempts to leave the room after an altercation, but Joanna follows her and begins tossing plates when they argue. Joanna gets upset and throws a bowl of cold soup on Marn's head after she damages a costly wedding present. Will steps in just as they are about to fight again. Calling Joanna a bully, he accused himself of being a sucker for her innocent antics. A married liar attempts to escalate Will's slurs, but Will informs her she shares equal responsibility and chastises them both. He takes his frustration with Joanna for deceiving him about the past out on the table and walks away. Gail walks outside with Ramona, and they confront each other about their history. She always came in second to her well-known buddy, Ramona informs her, even though they were closest friends throughout high school. Gail feels she did nothing wrong, but Ramona brought up every facet of high school life, which she controlled and labeled selfish. After accusing each other of taking Gail's high school infatuation, Ramona and Gail began pushing and eventually dragged each other into the pool, where they carried on with their accusations. Richie Phillips, after they have a heartfelt chat, they decide to reconcile until Mark shows up at the scene later that night. Mark summons Gail and Marn to his office. While Manty is sleeping, he grounds them both and chastises them for their immature actions. She was awakened by their family dog, and upon seeing that Joanna was laying on the floor, eating, she grabbed a bat, believing an intruder had entered. Joanna tells Marn that she pretended not to know her because she was frightened of losing Will and his family, whom she loves, and that she now apologizes to her for all she did. Marn accepts her heartfelt apologies, forgives her, and swears to bring her and Will, who she loves, and his family together. After she apologizes sincerely, Marn accepts her apologies, vows to get her back, and says they will reunite the next day. When Marn comes into Will jogging in the park, she attempts to talk to him, but he continues running away. Eventually, she convinces him to talk to her by acting as if she is hurting her ankles. She assures him that she went to great lengths to shield him from the previous Joanna. When Will and Joanna were making up in the treehouse, Will heard of Joanna's love for him and decided to forgive Marn and get her back. When Ben met Marn, he informed her that he had attempted to disassemble the home by loosening some of the bolts. When Marn learnt that Will was planning to steal the home, he attempted to warn them, but they were too preoccupied with one another, and as a result, Joanna and Will suffered injuries. Mark informed them that while their broken bones would mend rapidly, they would have to postpone their wedding as the treehouse collapsed and they were transferred to a hospital. However, Marn arranged a surprise wedding for the couple by having it in the hospital. After calling Richie Phillips and surprising Ramona with a gift of her own, Gail meets up with the two. Grandma Bunny meets Will's Grandma Helen, who was her worst enemy in high school, while Marn gets